Hi there, I'm Cynthia Dearin. Happy New Year. Welcome to the Business Beyond Borders podcast, where I explore what it takes to make your business an international success. It's January, that time of year where people tend to get momentarily excited about the year ahead. With the promise of a fresh start, most of us make New Year's resolutions. I'm going to lose weight, exercise more, drink less, give up smoking, quit Facebook, go to bed on time. You fill in the blanks. And lots of us set goals for our business too, whether it's to increase revenue, get into profit, expand to China, or find a reseller in the US. But a lot of the time, we don't stick to our resolutions and we don't achieve the goals that we set. The next year rolls around and we're still in the same place. I know too many people who've been thinking and talking, for example, about turning their business into an international venture for years, but it never seems to happen. Well, why is that? I think it's pretty simple. What I believe is that the way we do goal setting doesn't work. And that's what I want to talk to you about today. There are some really common mistakes that I think most people make when it comes to goal setting. The first one is that while lots of us set goals, we often aren't clear on the real purpose of those goals. So in other words, we haven't really sat down and examined at a deep level why we're setting those particular goals. And when we don't have clarity around the purpose of our goals, it tends to show up in shallow reasons. Well, what do I mean by that? Let me give you an example. You might say to me that your goal for 2019 is to expand your business to China. And I ask you why. You tell me, oh, well, I want to make more money. And that's your reason. Now, that's absolutely fine, but this is also a shallow answer because it shows that you haven't really thought through in depth why you want to make more money. And it also might tell me that you haven't really thought about why you want to go to that particular country. So what? So why does this matter? Why does it matter if your answer is shallow? Human beings need real purpose to get out there and to achieve the goals that we set. We need a deep purpose in order to get things done. And we're motivated and driven by things like mastering skills, creating change, helping other people, and bettering ourselves. And if you don't have compelling reasons behind the goals you've set yourself, it's a lot less likely that you'll achieve them. And that's because the motivation won't be strong enough to see the job through. Now, this thing around connecting with a purpose and a purpose that will drive you is especially important if you're taking your company overseas, or even if you're just still thinking about doing it. That's because doing this is a big long-term project, and it's pretty much guaranteed that there are going to be tough days when you don't feel like making any more effort. And it's easy to let things slide and just go back to what you were doing before. Without really compelling motivation, you probably won't make it. So before you start setting your goals for 2019, please get clear on what you want. And even more importantly, get clear on why you want it. The second mistake that I see people making is that they get blasé. We hear about goal setting so often, especially in a business context, that it's easy to take the whole goal setting thing for granted because we feel as though we've heard it all before. We already know, all of us know, that goals have to be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, time-bound, blah, 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 blah. It's not that exciting, is it? And when goal setting isn't new or novel, we start taking it for granted, like we take for granted anything that's not new or novel. And when that happens, that's when we tend to take our eye off the ball because we feel as though, I already know how to do goal setting. I'm not going to worry about doing it again. That's a big mistake though, because goal setting isn't about new and novel. It's about mastery. What you have to do if you want to master something, you have to do it over and over and over again, don't you? You have to train and practice and persevere the way that elite athletes do. Now, great sports people are at the top of their field, not because they do new things all the time, but because they do the same old things, often very simple, basic things. Let's call them essentials, over and over and over again. And they do it without getting blasé. They're really, really focused. If you want to succeed in achieving your goals in 2019, you're going to have to shake off that feeling of blasé and get really excited about that process of essential goal setting. The third mistake I believe people make is that they're not consistent about their goal setting. And this mistake is related to the first two mistakes I mentioned. It's hard to be consistent if you don't have a deep purpose and real excitement attached to the goal setting exercise. As I was saying a few minutes ago, most people set their goals at the start of the year and then they just stick them in a drawer and forget all about them. And frankly, they'd be lucky if they could even remember what the goals are by the next time they take that piece of paper out of the drawer. Does that sound like anybody you know? New Year comes around again and they're like, oops, I didn't keep that resolution and oh, I didn't achieve those goals. So they start over, they set some more goals and the cycle repeats itself. Here's the thing, when you repeatedly set goals and don't achieve them, or worse still, you don't even start working on them, after a while, a couple of things happen. You stop taking goal setting seriously because you think it doesn't work. And you feel bad about yourself for setting goals and making commitments to yourself that you didn't keep. And ultimately, and worst of all, you don't get the outcomes that you were hoping for. And that is very disappointing and very demoralizing, whether it's in a personal context or, as we're talking about today, in a business context. So again, if you're serious about achieving your goals, you need a radically different approach to what I just described. By all means, go ahead and set your goals at the start of each year. That's a good thing to do. But in the context of your business, and especially in the context of your international expansion, I recommend that you also set 120-day goals with your team and that you review these together monthly. And where your most important goals are concerned, I think you should be looking at these at least weekly, or better still, each day. And that's because practice makes perfect, or at least a lot better. Or if you want to look at this another way, as the saying goes, where the focus goes, the energy flows. And that means when you're focused on certain goals and you see them each day, these things tend to become priorities in our conscious and also in our subconscious. And this helps us to take action on them. A great way of keeping consistently focused on your most important goals is to have them front of mind all the time. And a really simple way of doing this is by making sure that you see them often. Stick them up in your bathroom or put a copy on the wall of your office or near the coffee machine, wherever it is that you're going to notice them frequently. Or you could set a daily reminder in your phone so that your goals pop up at a specific time each day. I really like to do this, and I think that seeing your goals pop up just as you're starting work is a really good time because it gives you a bit of motivation and focus to start your day with. When it comes down to it, goals really let us shape the future in advance. So whatever your goals are, whether they're good goals, whether they're not so good goals, whether they're exciting goals or whether they're dreary goals, these are the things that are shaping your future. If you want to set great goals around your international expansion or anything else and achieve them this year, make sure that you do these three things. Get clear on what you really want and why you want it before you set any goals to achieve. Get excited about mastering goal setting and doing the essentials over and over and over again until you're great at them. Don't get blasé. And thirdly, work on your goals consistently and start that process by keeping them front of mind out there where you can see them. I'm Cynthia Dearin, and I look forward to seeing you back here again soon.